The voice of him that crieth in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord, make straight in the desert a highway for our God. Isaiah 43. So here we have the idea of somebody, the voice crying out in the wilderness, as making the way for God. In the previous passage, there's a reference to Jerusalem as female, and I've previously talked about the idea of Jerusalem as a city, which also relates to Newt, the spelling Niwt, and the cross in a circle hieroglyph in Egyptian. In the next passage, it refers to every valley shall be exalted, and every mountain and hill shall be made low, and the crooked shall be made straight. I'm not sure if the crooked there relates to people who are being bad, or the paths, or both. Mountains and hills have been, yes, they're references to nature, but also to the curvy female anatomy. What we have here on the left-hand side is a blue figure, almost someone paused, listening, waiting, ready, I guess. Got all of these tall hats on, which may relate to like the Atef crown, something similar. And then there's this less formed image to the right-hand side that reminds me a little bit of the one that I did, I think, for Khonsu Moon, which I said looks a bit like the flat skin of Lady Cassandra, the last human on Earth. There's the idea of light radiating from this sort of Cassandra figure. I also kind of see a little bit like a cat's eye lower down, and then sort of letters or symbols up here look a bit like a TEC or T4C. I really like this blue figure on the left-hand side. I can't work out if it's male or female. Blue normally relates to this idea of the Virgin Mary. It's also the idea of water and sky. I like the idea that there's this tail that sort of comes up into the sky as well. See it curving in behind. I also like the way that this sort of arm or hand extends out, because it looks like non-human the way it comes out. The fingers are of a creature that would live in water and on land, webbed. There's a kind of face that descends in the top right. So in essence, even though it doesn't look like three people, there's this element of three here. They've got the middle bit, the face on the right, and then blue on the left. And from this view, it actually looks like there's a person within that Cassandra face. The head's raised up, almost a bit like a pole, looking directly at the tail of this blue creature. So I'm not entirely sure how this relates to the original text about the idea of making straight in the desert a highway for our Lord, but there's definitely like this idea of the desert and Egypt with this blue character, I think. And I think it's a really great image. I know some people who are probably natural artists might not agree. They might have better lines or whatever for the blue character. But given that I'm actually not artistically trained and I can't draw at all, and I just use a technique of splodging paint onto the canvas and moving it around till it feels right, I always love it when it comes out with something like this. Thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe.